Hello and welcome to the preview as we look ahead to this afternoon's game against Gillingham. I'm delighted to say that we're joined by town legend Marcus Stewart. Thank you for joining us, Marcus. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, Dan. Yeah, I'm all good.
Good,
Very
good.
excited for the spring and summer coming up. Hopefully out of lockdown soon. Hopefully you can go and watch some football games, do other things that, we
Yeah,
took for granted before lockdown happened. So, yeah, I'm excited.
absolutely. You had been keeping busy doing a bit of media. I saw you at a couple of games at Crawley and Oxford. I think you were working with Brenner at Radio Suffolk. Are you still doing bits and pieces?
Not so much that because they're not allowing any guests to go there
Yeah,
at the moment.
of course.
So it's just the host of the show that are going there. But hopefully when things get back to normal, a little bit more normal, I'll be able to do stuff like that. But in the meantime, I've been keeping my education up, my coaching education up, doing a few LMA webinars. Um, so yeah, keeping myself busy and doing stuff like that. No real coaching on the grasses yet, which I kind of miss. But one day, when I'm ready, I'll get back into it. But at the moment, I'm just excited for what's going to happen in the coming months. Really, with the summer coming up in the spring, the Euros hopefully still go ahead, the Olympics. There's all sorts of good sport coming up, and the end of the season, of course, because the running is this time of year. The running, you're over halfway. And it's an exciting part of the season. Remember it fondly as a player and obviously as a coach. These times are quite exciting.
Yeah, speaking of the running, Ipswich have sort of put ourselves in with a really good, put ourselves in a strong position now with 3 wins on the bounce and the appointment of Paul Cook. There's some real positivity about the club now. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that appointment, Marcus.
I've come across Paul Cook loads of times as a coach and assistant manager. And what his teams will do, they will play the Ipswich way in terms of they will try and play football. But there's a purpose to the football. There's a purpose to go and get goals. It's not just about keeping the ball. He's got a great record as a manager, getting promotions at every club he's been at. He's got a promotion. So hopefully him coming into the team with Gary as well, and obviously Matt Gill, I know, still there. He's decided to been told he can stay on. So with that coaching group as well and the players they've got, hopefully they can go on a good run. He's obviously come into the club off the back of 3 wins, so that would help. That would help the confidence be a bit higher. They're not too far off the playoffs. Who knows if you go on a good run this time of the season, what might happen. You've seen what happens with Sunderland in the past 3 or 4 weeks with a change of manager from almost being mid-table to now actually challenging for an automatic promotions spot. So, Paul will hope he could achieve something like that. And like I say, automatic promotion isn't out of his grasp. It'd be a hard one to get, but playoffs are definitely within his grasp. That's for sure.
He hasn't had his first press conference earlier in the week and said that he has got a style of play that he wants to implement, and he says that fans will see that from day one. He hasn't had long to work with the players since he arrived. Had his first training session on Thursday. Just what sort of an insight can you give into from a player's perspective into what it's like? That first game with the new manager.
Um, as a player, your mind will be all over the place as soon as the manager goes, and then a new one comes in. There'll be all sorts of things going through your head. There'll be contracts up in the summer, so players will be wanting about contracts because you never know, they might have been not promised a contract, but told they've got a contract by the old manager, and now that's kind of not the case because the new manager's in. So there'll be that they'll be thinking of, with the salary cap coming in as well and stuff like that. I'm sure he would have told the guys that there would be a clean slate, but you just don't know as a player. There is a bit of uncertainty amongst players, whether you're the captain or whether you're the under-23 player coming up to be a professional next year, coming into the first team squad. So, yeah, and I'm sure Paul's experienced enough to settle their minds as quickly as they can. He probably won't be able to do it this week, but I'm sure over the coming weeks he'll have his individual chats with the players, and they'll probably know where they stand a bit more. But yeah, it's not a good time. It's quite a tough time for players, in terms of how you deal with what the manager wants from you, and if you're actually in his plans or not. And like I say, most of them won't know that at the moment. They'll just gain his trust in conversations over the coming weeks. But yeah, it is a tough psychological time for a player, that's for sure.
But also on the flip side of that being tough, it's, as you alluded to, it's a clean slate for everyone, isn't it? It's a chance for everyone to sort of, you know, really impress the new manager and be part of his plans going forwards.
Yeah, you're right. And the amount of times I heard that from managers when they came in, but I didn't believe it, was quite a lot. It's a cliche in terms of what a manager says. And I don't know what he said to the players, so I don't know, but you'd like to think that they'll get a chance. In terms of the way they play, I think it'd be not too dissimilar to how Paul Lambert played. They'll want to play football, but I think there'll be more attacking intent involved, that's for sure. Especially from fullbacks. He wants his fullbacks to get on high. He generally plays a 4-2-3-1 when I've seen him play. Never changes it. Might change the personnel. You know, Gary's played under him a number of clubs, so he likes his wingers drifting inside. He likes the big number 9, sometimes a small mobile number 9, and 2 really experienced, good holding midfield players he normally deals with. Not too dissimilar to what Matt Gill played the other day. It'd be interesting if Matt would have actually got the instructions to play 4-2-3-1 against Accrington, off Paul himself, or Matt done it himself, because that will be the kind of formation I think Paul would adapt generally.
Yeah, I mean, it was the side that Matt named against Accrington on Tuesday night. It's been unchanged, I think, the last 3 games in a row. And we've won the 3 games on the bounce, but I think it's something crazy like all these Saturday, Tuesday games. Do you think he might have to freshen it up this afternoon?
I don't know. I don't know what he would do. What would I do? You'd have to take injuries into account, players coming back from injury, fatigue, chats with players, ask how do you feel today? You know, you might have had those chats over the last couple of days. So you can go again, you know, your 4th game on the trot, how you feeling? So that's for him to decide that. Whether he does that or not, I don't know. But what I do know, it will be 4-2-3-1. I'm 90% sure of that.
Players will want to play, won't they? They want to keep in a winning team, keep playing.
Well, that stability in the past 3 games for Matt, for Matt and Paul, has been good. So if you're a winning team, then why not? You might change 1 or 2 little things, but you won't change too much. Yeah. What Paul does, different kind of way of looking at things. I really don't know how he approaches the 4th game in 2 weeks. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, just looking at Gillingham into the match, I think they're sitting 14th. I think looking at them, they're sort of a typical mid-table League One team. Sometimes they'll be beating teams who are in the top 6, but also losing to opponents below them in the league table. You never quite know what you're going to get. Is that fair to say from them?
Yeah, it is. They conceded a lot of goals. I think it's 44 goals they've conceded. So their last four home games, they've won 2, lost 2. So, like you say, they are that team that can win and draw. That's why they're mid-table. I think they've almost won as many games as they have lost. So you don't know what you're going to get from them, really. You know, they've got some decent players. They've got 2 on 9 goals. And 5 and one with 5, 6, one with 6 assists. So you know they're a good side on their day, but the consistency obviously isn't there because their results are showing that and where they are in the league. Now, if you look at Ipswich's last 3 or 4 away games, they've won 3 and drawn 1. So you know, psychologically, they're there for the taking, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a player in Gillingham's ranks who Ipswich fans will know well. He's had 2 loan spells at the club, Jordan Graham. I think he's their top goal scorer.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the top goal scorer with along with Vaden, is it?
Yeah, Oliver. Yeah, so
Oliver Vaden. Yeah. So he's top goal scorer along with him, and between them they both got 9 goals, but one's got 5 assists and one's got 6. So they're the guys that will be, you know, if you can keep them quiet, you're taking away almost half their goals.
And what you've seen of Ipswich this season, Marcus, who do you see as that carries the main sort of goal threat that Gillingham will be wary of?
It's there's goals from midfield at Ipswich, with the likes of Judge, Bishop. There's goals in them. Not loads. The trouble with Ipswich is they've not had enough goals from the front guys. So, you've got the creativity with Andre there. I'm not sure the fullbacks have been attacking enough in the way they play. But like I said, I think Paul will change that, and I think eventually you'll see the fullbacks they've got now changing their games to being more dynamic and up the pitch. If not, I think he'll get fullbacks in that will do that job. Yeah. Almost become wingers.
I mean, Norwood's obviously popped up he's scored 3 on the bounce, so hopefully he can carry that on going forwards.
Yeah, let's hope so. Obviously, James got the ability. He's been injured a few times this year, in and out of the team. So I've always said you keep him fit. I'm sure you get your goals 1 and 2 if you can. So that's important that he tries to stay fit. Off the back of that, if you can do that, and the running and get firing and scoring goals. And with the midfielders, what they're doing now as well, scoring the goals now and again between them all, got a good chance of getting into the playoffs automatic even. So it's important though that the forwards need to start scoring goals. Well, I mean forwards, the main striker needs to score more goals, whoever that is.
Yeah. Just want to get your, before we move on to some fan questions, Marcus, just your score prediction for this afternoon's game.
I think it'd be a 1-0 win to Ipswich.
Yeah. Who's notching?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Who's going to notch?
Putting you on the spot.
How many goals has Andre Dessel scored?
I don't know if he's scored this season yet or not. Not sure.
I'm going to go with him. He's due on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thanks for your time on that, Marcus. So just move on to some fan questions. So the first one is from that memorable 2000-2001 season in the Premiership where we finished 5th. What was your favourite goal from that?
I think it's got to be the one at Anfield. The one at Anfield. For obvious reasons, winning 1-0, playing at Anfield, being a Man United fan, it's got to be that one. Yeah.
From the day that's now dubbed Marcus Stewart Day, which of your goals against Bolton do you prefer, first or second?
2
different.
I think the first one, for a couple of reasons. One was because the next goal really made a difference. If they went 3-0 ahead, I think it's a long way to come back. So it was important that we got the next goal. So that one for the importance of it. But the second one was probably a bit more entertaining and had a bit more drama about it.
Yeah, it did.
For the fans.
Suspense.
So they were both good for their own reasons, really. From a team point of view, to get us back in the game was the first one. There's no doubt about that. That was so important. In terms of viewing and drama, the second one.
Brilliant. And then the final question, I think this is probably been caught on from Paul Cook's first training session, because I don't know whether you saw, but he had a pair of blue Ipswich gloves on, which some people were sort of...
Oh, did he?
Thought they were drawing up comparisons from you, Marcus. So, someone's asked if you still own a pair of those famous gloves.
No, I don't, unfortunately. I've got a pair of gloves, but not those ones.
You made those your own.
Well, it's like Paul makes them his own now. He brings them back into fashion because they were good luck for me. I think I wore them sometimes just for a bit of luck, bit of superstition. And if Paul wears them for that and he gets some results, so then good on him.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time, Marcus. Appreciate that. Appreciate you joining us on the preview for today's game. And thank you for those watching at home. Don't forget that you can buy your match passes on I Follow Ipswich this afternoon. And remember that it's a 1:00 kickoff at Gillingham. Thanks for watching.